JT Siskowski for Status Coup, and I am in rural Wisconsin, Blue Mounds, Wisconsin, outside of Ridgeland Farms. And if I sound muffled coming through here on the mic, that is because I am wearing a respirator right now because authorities have been firing off tear gas here at these activists that you see gathered here, and they are all down along this hillside and ridgeway. There are hundreds of activists out here right now trying to gain entrance to these farms, because inside of these farms, at Ridgeland Farms, it raises hundreds of beagles for the purposes of testing, animal testing. And of course, this has been out here in this part of Wisconsin, this has been a long simmering issue, the discontent with the continued operation of these farms. These activists had been planning an action like this to go inside of the facility. They've done actions like this to go inside the facility and bring out as many of those animals as they can. But they were originally supposed to do their next action tomorrow. However, when many of them gathered to what I've been told from those here is that when many of them gathered to do their training, today was just supposed to be a training for that action scheduled tomorrow, they found that instead that they had been infiltrated by authorities, and they decided that since authorities were so keyed in on what they were doing, they decided to hold the action today. So tear gas canisters have been periodically fired off here up onto this hilltop where I am standing, because the wind is blowing quite strong, and the authorities are hopeful that the wind will then carry the smoke down the side of the hill and into these crowds that are further down the hill this way. And I'm going to get up onto a better vantage point to show you. Exactly where everybody is. We were standing up here on this hillside because a group of activists had actually come up here and had been talked about trying to gain entry to the facility by climbing over this fence here, this barbed wire fence that you see up top here. But those efforts seem to have fizzled somewhat. And now I'm going to come back down here where the primary group of the protesters is gathered. But first I wanted to come up here to show you this scene where you can see right down in here. This is actually a moat that was dug by the farms, about 6 feet across and 4 to 5 feet deep. And then on the other side of the moat had been all of these hay bales that had been set up as a sort of initial barrier before the protesters could actually get to the fence. And over the last couple of hours that the protesters have been out here, or the activists have been out here, they have been moving these hay bales into the moat here to fill it in and give them the ability to cross, just like we did there. And as I am looking out here, we are seeing here, you can see where this one activist here is walking up to this fence line here. There are, and I'm not sure if you can see it through the darkness, I'm trying to see it through my goggles as well. But there are law enforcement that are there. It looks like members of at least the Dane County Sheriff's Office. We are in Dane County, Wisconsin right now, who are on the inside with four-wheelers and have been the ones, it seems, firing off tear gas. And you also see a couple of them there are holding canisters of pepper spray. And actually, I know I've actually talked to at least one activist who had to be, who was rushed to the emergency room because of the how badly she was pepper sprayed in the initial efforts to try and enter this facility. So we've already had people part so bad that they are being hospitalized. And just to show you a little bit more of the defenses here, down into this part of the ditch, you can see that there is actually a string of barbed wire that was actually erected along the along the near side, or I guess the far side from where the camera is now, but along this side of the ditch, there was actually barbed wire that was up here that the activists have since knocked down. I'll be interviewing some of them here. Shortly, but I'm trying to get to a vantage point where I can really show you the number of people that are out here right now. And many are behind those hay bales that you see in front of you right now. I'm taking a break here just to take off my hat, so I can also take off my respirator so you can hear me a little more clearly. Because it's now been several minutes since they last. It's been several minutes since they last fired off tear gas, so I'm feeling quite confident that we can be out here.
If you don't know what cherry eyes, it's a common thing that happens to beagles with one of their eyelids, and it gets really inflamed. And what they do here is two people, one will hold the dog down, the other one will slice off that eyelid with no pain medication, no antibiotics, no medical care at all. They are tossed back into their pens, bleeding. If you haven't heard of them cutting vocal cords, that also is done without pain medication. And it's only so that they don't have to listen to the barking, because it's not very pleasant, obviously. How often do you guys hear the beagles screaming from inside those buildings? Does it make you feel bad? I've been hearing some beagles screaming, and it breaks my heart. So, is it really worth the paycheck to you? Do your families know that you help people abuse dogs and puppies just so that they can be sold and tested on in all kinds of messed up ways, just so they can be killed and dissected? The percentage of credible information that they get from animal testing is not actually applicable to human uses. It is not needed anymore, and y'all are participating in it anyway. Y'all should just walk away. Just let us do our thing. Y'all are still going to get paid either way. What actual stakes do you have here today?
The dogs' lives are at stake.
We're all here because we care and we don't want living things to suffer. Why are you here? I'm sure it makes you feel bad. Everybody loves dogs. And I'm sure most of you had childhood dogs that you played with and you snuggled with and loved you unconditionally. These beagles deserve the chance to walk outside, lay on a couch, get more than 1 minute of human interaction a day, not live on wire crates that they get their legs stuck in, they get infected wounds, and no medical care is ever given to them. Brian, where are you? Brian! Have you guys seen the dead pile? Do you know where it is? Brian! If you do, I'm sure you avoid it, because I am sure that would be a very, very horrible thing to witness on a daily basis. If this does not affect your mental health, that is concerning.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
I just see the scrape. What happened?
One of the sheriff's deputies slammed me on the ground.
Would you mind if I interviewed you about
Sure.
that? My name's JT, by the
Hi,
way.
I'm Daniela.
Daniela, nice to meet you.
Nice
I'm
to meet you.
a reporter with Status Coup News, online independent progressive outlet. Okay. All right, Daniela, I'm going to put one of these microphones on you.
You guys know that you guys were served with personal
Pardon my reach.
It's fine.
And that man is now being escorted through the fence line.
stay close because you got my microphone.
Oh, yeah. Want me to give it to you?
Yeah.
If you need to look me up, I'm Daniela Tester, Peace Ridge Sanctuary in Maine.
Got it. Up here from Maine.
What you just did, I'm pretty sure is illegal, but I'm not a lawyer. But we do have many who will come. You cannot take him in there! Run him down! Run him down! We have a lot of lawyers that are going to be sued for this. Again, not the company. Let down! Let him 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 go! Let him go! Let him go!
Hear the crowd chanting, "Let him go," as the law enforcement inside there are putting zip ties on the man's wrists, and you see law enforcement right here re-securing the fence that they peeled apart. And you see them also just down here clutching canisters of pepper spray that they've been using on the crowd out here. Now you can get a sense for the scale of the crowd here. And the applause is for the man who was just arrested. But you see this crowd that is gathered here, and I'll note that this is not even half the number of people that are actually out here. There are many more down the hill and further up the hill from where I'm standing right now. And there are people who are out here at Ridgeland Farms from, I've been told, well, I know from across the country. The woman, Daniela, that we were just speaking to is here from Maine. She just told me. I was speaking to a gentleman earlier who was up here from South Carolina, and I've been told there are people as far away from here, from as far away as Brazil.
I am one of you. We are all the same brothers. Please listen to me. Please listen to me, brother. We are the same. We do not have a choice. You were protecting animals.
Weapons down! Weapons down now! Weapons down! Weapons down!
And I actually just got a face full of pepper spray there as authorities sprayed it out the fence line many feet from where I was standing, but the wind is so strong here it carried it right into my face, right into my eyes. I can feel the burning. I cannot see what the camera's pointed at right now. I just retreated away from the fence line a little bit. Got to resist the temptation to rub the eyes because that can only make it worse. And just let my tears carry everything out.
You see anything, Jenny? Like, are you looking through LiveView Central, or are you just looking at the stream on YouTube? We're back. Am I live right now? Perfect, thank you. Okay, I apologize for that, folks. I got I'm not sure exactly how much you missed. I'm told about a minute or so. I got pepper sprayed right in the face. And so, in the chaos of me trying to get out of there, then they were firing tear gas as well. The authorities were. In my haste to try and get out of there, I inadvertently yanked the cord that connects my camera to our live stream equipment out of the camera. So, I was lucky enough that I had a very nice gentleman from the crowd come in and put saline in my eyes, which is at least allows me to see now. But I'm not...
Hey, all you up there, every single person needs to come this direction, please.
All of the activists are trying to get everyone to move back down the hill now.
That was a while ago.
And I think the speculation here in the crowd is that the authorities are about to do, are maybe about to do mass arrests. And you can see law enforcement bringing in another van down here, escorting it in. which of course is getting quite the animated response from the crowd here. Whew. But yeah, the speculation here in the crowd was that authorities might be ramping up for some kind of mass arrest. This is pretty common in mass actions like this, where you'll hear people in the crowd start to speculate as to what might happen, and then the crowd kind of takes it as fact, right? Just sort of some crowd think. I haven't seen any signs that would really demonstrate from law enforcement that they were looking to do that. Just that they were more willing to use force, obviously, throwing out more pepper spray, more tear gas as they were just a minute ago. And I should say, I'm out here alone right now. I am without John Farina, who usually is the one who keeps me so safe in these situations. So I've got to be more careful. I was so caught up in trying to get the shot there of people trying to talk to law enforcement that lost track of my surroundings, and yeah, something caused law enforcement to spray out pepper spray, and that includes pepper spraying a member of the press right in the face. Now we see now some of the activists here are crossing back over the berm, trying to get closer to the fence line, and I'll try to zoom in so you can see it, but there is a ladder there that has been carried up and down this fence line in multiple directions as some of the activists were trying to find a way to cross the fence. It's not clear to me if that's what they are attempting to do here or what the purpose of trying to mass everyone over here right now is. I'm holding off on interviewing anyone right now just because the tear gas and pepper spray has been flying.
Everybody, listen up. We're going to need to move in a quick orderly fashion. Get inside of Ridgeland, save some dogs. There are 3 holes in the fence over there right now. Start walking. Enter them now. Into these 3 holes in the fence. Go now. Go now. All through. Through the 3 holes in the fence now.
You hear that? The activists are going to try and force their way inside again.
Legal right to rescue these dogs from criminals.
The goal is to try and push their way in through some holes in the fence where there's already law enforcement waiting.
Short of violence to get these dogs out of the torturous conditions that they've been trapped in for their entire lives.
And I think the goal here is just to try and overwhelm authorities through sheer numbers.
There's another strip further to the left. Keep going. Keep going. All 3. Everybody, keep going up.
You see people trying to go through. I'm going to try and get a closer look here. But just to clue you in on a little bit of the geography, you see all of these hay bales. They create a bit of a...
Oh. I got a mask I got home and I didn't think to bring it.
Yeah.
Does it help?
Oh, yeah. We're good, Colin? Thanks. Okay, folks, we keep going out because I keep getting tear gassed. And it makes it impossible to see, and I end up knocking the cord that connects the camera to the rest of it. But a lot of the activists had made their way back down the hillside to get out of clouds of tear gas after I don't know how many canisters were just fired off, but many into the crowd here. You can see people are getting saline poured into their eyes to treat it. But I want to talk to this gentleman here. What's your name, man?
Brian.
Brian, nice to meet you. I'm JT.
How are you? I was up there.
Hang on, Brian. Let me put a microphone on you. Over here. All right, Brian. Tell us what just happened.
I was up
to you.
there, and they are throwing the tear gas at us, right and left. I was trying to put water to put the tear gas out, and they shot me 4 times in the legs, and then I think they sprayed me. Yeah, they sprayed my feet. Yep. I don't know if I got sprayed in the back or not.
Yeah, I just want to show off your legs. There are actual holes in his clothes, in those coveralls that he is wearing there from the impacts of the rubber bullets that he was shot with. And I watched it happen to him, just happened less than 10 feet away from me. So, are you in pain, Brian? Are you okay? Your back looks okay, though. It looks like you got shot with another rubber bullet in the back of the leg as well. If the hole is anything to go by. But are you in any pain? Are you all right?
Smarts a little, but not a big deal.
Not a big deal. Was this what you were expecting when you came out here today?
Not rubber bullets, no. What a bunch of dirtbags. It's all the sheriff's office. They're the corrupt ones that are doing this, and it's just unbelievable how they're carrying on.
What was it that you came out here for? What was the reason that you wanted to be out here
dogs
today?
And try to get the dogs out of this facility. They're torturing the dogs, some of them to death. The cruelty that they're inflicting on these dogs is just unbelievable. And the head sheriff, I don't know what his name is a black man, instructing these guys. They are absolutely complicit in what's going on here, allowing what's happening to these poor dogs to continue.
Can you give us an indication of some of that, like some of the things that are happening to the dogs that has you so impassioned to be out here willing to be shot by rubber bullets and pepper sprayed?
Well, there's a webpage that Wayne put up that has actual videotape of some of the stuff. These dogs are having tear ducts cut out of their eyes, no anesthesia, nothing. They're having their vocal cords cut, no anesthesia. And then they're bleeding profusely, and they just throw them back into these cages. These cages are full of feces and urine. These dogs are showing signs of mental disorder, just running in circles, bobbing their heads, because they've been locked up in these 2x4 cages for years in some cases. It's just unbelievable what they're doing to these dogs. And
you spoke to it a little bit, but can I get you to maybe expound on how does it make you feel to see then the local sheriff's office, the authorities standing on the side of
it's absolutely
business?
Disgusting. And there was a gentleman that got through the fence. They hit him with the quad. I don't know if they drove over him or just hit him, but got down on the ground, and then they were kneeing him in the face repeatedly. And then they denied medical care. There were nurses up there, and they would not let him through to give him help. It was 15 or 20 minutes until they got him out of there. And I don't know what his condition is. I left.
I've been hearing from people all over the country, South Carolina, Maine, out here. Where are you from?
Central Ohio.
Central Ohio. Yeah. So again, somebody who made the trek across,
Yeah, I drove all night long to get here.
All night long to get here. That's how impassioned you are about this issue. You're willing to put your body on the line in this way, to protect these dogs. Are you one who is like, have you been to protest movements or activist things?
I have. At home, we have a rescue dog already and a couple other dogs, and it's unconscionable what they're doing. So I'm hoping that Dwayne, and I can't pronounce his last name, I'm sorry, but he's the one that's running this whole thing. He got arrested first crack this morning. He's suing them, and is going to court July 10th, and there's a court hearing about this, and they're trying to set a precedent. And if they win on this case, they're going to use this as a precedent for all over the country, because there's another one of these facilities in upstate New York that's got thousands and thousands and thousands of dogs in there.
Hey, will you play it? Is all of this tear gas, pepper spray, rubber bullets, is that enough to intimidate you away from participating in future events like this?
I will be a little better prepared the next time.
That's often what I hear when I cover movements like this. It doesn't dissuade people. It only makes them want to come more geared out the next time.
I will have stuff to protect me the next time.
The next time, and would you? I'm kind of curious now. You've gotten a taste for what it's like to be a part of one of these movements. I mean, you plan to be in the streets on other issues, or is this kind of the one motivating thing for you?
Well, this is the only one that has struck close to home. So, I mean, this is there is suffering. It's not just like some of the ridiculous stuff that Trump is doing. It is hurting people. But here, there's actual, no fooling dogs in pain every day. Every day. A couple thousand of them in there. And these people are in bed with the local authorities. Again, you should go to the webpage that has this info, if you can get that out there, so more people can follow it.
Thank you very much for your time.
My pleasure, sir.
Thank you. Steal that microphone back.
Oh, absolutely. Where's it?
Appreciate it. Well, thanks for being with us, and I hope your leg's all right.
Where are you from?
Status Coup News, online independent progressive outlet.
Yeah. Has
on
anyone
CNN, will you?
has anyone said anything about how the local elected officials and appointed officials are how much money they're spending on protecting this facility?
No. Do you want to speak to it?
I do.
Yeah, absolutely. What's your name?
Say a few words.
Yeah.
My name's Ann Kelly.
And let me get this actually clipped on you here.
want.
Let's see. Pardon my reach. Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
So Ann, and first of all, could I have you start just by, and if you could take one step towards the camera, please. Thank you. If I could have you start, how do you spell your name?
Yes, Ann, A-N-N, K-E-L-L-Y. I'm from New Jersey. It's my first rescue mission. I'm very fond of dogs, and I think animal testing needs to be eradicated. And, you know, the federal government sort of making the announcement that in 10 years it's working on doing that. That's too long. This effort, the one that happened a month ago, and other things going on around the country, I think there's a convergence of really a movement, which is why I jumped in on this one to end beagle testing specifically. And I am just shocked at the corruption that is happening in this county and in this state right now, and how the local, state, and other officials are here spending this much money and resources to protect a facility that has been found guilty and convicted, but cut a plea deal. So we all know they're guilty. They agreed to go out of business, and they're here protecting them. I don't know how many thousands of dollars are going into this effort, but taxpayers need to be paying attention to this.
Can I get you to detail out some of the resources, because I don't think I've adequately captured them all on camera. What are some of the
There
ways?
is state police here in force of at least 400. They're armed security that are not local security that Ridgeland hired. There's the local sheriff's department, and they're using tear gas and rubber bullets and all kinds of resources. That's costing a lot of money. And guess who's paying for it? The taxpayers. So why are they doing that? Why are they supporting the Ridgeland facility that's been found guilty, that has infiltrated local government, their councilman, their daughter of the son-in-law of the whatever, it's really corruption going on. Follow the money trail, everybody. And, maybe we're not successful getting beagles out today, but you can be sure as hell we'll be back. And if they spend this much money again to defend this facility, you have to question that. And you better make sure you vote your power to vote for elected officials and find out why they made this decision to not support the activists and make sure this was peaceful. Because they're the ones that brought violence here today, not us.
I mean, you're not from this area, but rather than spending the money on defending, this farm where there is the abuse happening inside, how would that money be better spent on a local level to actually benefit people?
Well, if the local sheriff's department and DA and prosecutors did their job 10 years ago, this place wouldn't even be in business anymore. The only reason we're here today is because they did not do their job. They are not enforcing the law, so now local citizens, both here in the county, in the state, and across the country, are here to do their jobs for them, because they're not. Instead now, they're still not doing their job, and they're spending even more money to protect a facility that's been found guilty. It makes no sense whatsoever, and someone needs to find out why.
Is this your first action like this?
It
is.
Others? It's absolutely my first action. I always supported animal welfare, but I've never physically come. I flew here last night. I plan to be here until next week. In fact, all of these people do. So this will probably be not the last day we're here, because guess what? We got nothing else to do here. To probably come back tomorrow. And let's see how much money we can cost this state. We'll keep coming back until you guys make sure you hold your elected officials accountable and do the right thing and do their jobs.
So never part of any protest movements around any other
Never.
issues? So this is the thing that motivated you to actually put your body on the line.
There is a clear right and wrong here, people. And we talked to the guards that were along the fence, and some of them did actually start talking to us. And we said, have you been inside this facility? Just go inside. That's all you need to see. The special prosecutor that cut the deal with this facility to close down July 1st, he never set one foot inside the facility. He used old case material, cut a plea bargain with them, didn't hold them accountable, no fines, and they can still breed dogs. That's not good enough.
So you were, you're saying that this is the first, this is like a clear right and wrong.
Yeah.
Do you feel like
clear right and wrong.
Is there an issue impacting like human beings that you would now see yourself like getting involved in the same way, putting your body on the line for? Like, could you see yourself being more active?
Yeah, I can, because animal testing needs to end. People have put their lives on their line, their livelihoods, they've put themselves at risk for it. And if more people do that, it will have change. It will impact change. And I think the groundswell is now, and I'm going to stick with it until it's done.
I'm kind of pushing you just.
Yeah.
We go around I cover protest movements across the country on a whole host of different issues. And, for people, it is different issues that is the one that is like the one that breaks the camel's back, gets them into the street, gets them to be, being willing to be tear gas, pepper sprayed, like is happening out here today. Mm-hmm. Sometimes people say, this is my one issue and I'm sticking to it. Sometimes people say, like, you know what, I'm going to start showing up at more
other
things.
Ones.
Where do you fall in that camp?
Mine is animals, right? Animals. So I think the groundswell is around the beagles, but animal testing in general, that's my issue. Animal torture, animal testing, humanity.
What would it take to get you out at something else?
Having it be the right thing, having momentum behind it, you got to have government, congressmen, people in higher places of authority backing it. It's not just going to happen from a groundswell, movement.
You want to see some real leadership from somewhere.
And there has
first.
been on this issue, right? So I do think the timing is right now for this one. So I am going to be a little cautious about picking the timing, because resources are limited, right? Time is limited, and everyone has to take care of themselves and their family. But this is wrong. This will come out as wrong. Did we get any beagles out today? No. But I do think we have had an impact, and we're going to continue to push until it's done. It's over. They're shut down. They should not be in operation anymore.
Thank you very much. I'll steal that microphone back from you. Thank you for being so willing to talk. I really appreciate that.
You're going to post all of this.
So I'm actually streaming this live right now. It's on our.
Are you?
Yeah, I didn't bring my business cards with me in the haste to get out here. But if you guys want to take a picture of,
I will.
And you can find us at
reporting on your webpage.
Yes, it's on our YouTube channel. It'll be where.
YouTube channel. Okay.
That's cool. Thanks.
Yep.
You should. Have you taken a scan of the amount of force here?
Not yet. I've been trying to show the number of people, but then I started getting tear gas and pepper sprayed. So we will here now that things are calming down a little bit.
Yeah, but the amount of force on their side is insane.
Yeah, and that's a good point here, folks. So I do want to show you we're seeing dozens of law enforcement on the inside. I'll note we're going to pan over here where we're seeing these are all law enforcement vehicles here against this ridge line here, just a couple with their actual lights on. There's more actually hidden behind this green tree as well. More over here, and then more further down this roadside that you see here that I'm currently panning over to. Over by the gate, I'll zoom in and see if I can see. You can see some of the flashing lights from some of the law enforcement vehicles that are up there. All along this fence line here, there are law enforcement who are patrolling that fence line as well. There are, it looks like, I'm hearing from someone in the
rubber bullet guns, and pepper spray and gas.
I'm hearing from people here in the crowd that it's that there are enforcement who are actually here on site. I'm going to try and come up here. That group that you see standing there in the black, I'm going to zoom in a little bit. That's law enforcement who are in full riot gear standing outside. There are this group over here, that's activists there, but also against the top of this hillside, right over here, you see some four-wheelers and such. While not marked as law enforcement, I'll note that people have been coming out of those four-wheelers and standing in groups up there and actually coming down into the crowd to act as informants for law enforcement. It seems that they've been listening in on conversations that the activists, listening in the conversations that these activists and groups like this are having, and then relaying that information. But woo, This was not what I was expecting to do on my Saturday. I live not too far from here. I was aware of these actions happening, but originally they were scheduled for tomorrow, as I said here at the top. And I should probably just reset really quick, because this is not a story that we traditionally cover here at Status Coup. It was just that this was a situation that turned pretty hairy, and I got out here because it was close to where I live. But this is, again, we are in Blue Mounds, just outside of Blue Mounds, Wisconsin. And this is Ridgeland Farms is where we are. And these activists have all gathered to try and free the many beagles that are being held and used for animal testing inside of these farms. And there have been actions like it before this, where they actually have gotten access to the facility and been able to get some of the dogs out, is my understanding. And now this was the next big action. And as you can see, there are, hundreds, if not thousands. I'm always terrible at the estimations here, especially when people are spread out as much as they are across this hillside here right outside of Ridgeland Farms. But there are many, many people out here. Now, it does seem like many of the activists have actually started to move back down the hill and away from the farm, so I'm not expecting to see another big surge here as we did earlier, but I am going to go back up closer to the fence line here again with risk of being tear gassed and all of that comes right along with it. Oh. Just to see, we have some activists up here who seem to be trying to engage law enforcement in a dialogue, so I just want to try and listen in a little bit and see what they might be talking about.
This is a money issue. They torture animals. It's totally political and money.
Oh, I see you.
Animals being tortured to death.
Status Coup News, online independent progressive outlet.
Okay, no, well, I've tried to report from my place, Greenville Press in upstate New York.
Oh, yeah?
I mean, I don't have actual credentials, but that's how it doesn't work that way so much. It's trying to place the paper anymore. They weren't going to send somebody out here. I'll do it. They'll write the story. But I'm looking at you and going, okay, he's press.
Status Coup.
Because if I can get them to print something, then any kind of picture we might have might say.
This is the man
you can take a picture of that if you want, just to.
that came here today to help get the beagles out.
We got the Pioneer Press, puts out like 5 papers for each of the 5 communities in that area.
And yet
And you got
you're
the
going to
Pioneer
pepper
Press at the-
spray him and
I
shoot
can't
bullets
turn my
at
phone off
him.
already.
That makes no sense to
Status
me.
Coup.
We're coming
Status Coup
peaceful.
News.
Okay, Status Coup.
Please
News.
let the
Yeah, I got
beagles
press on here just to
go.
identify myself as
Yeah.
media for the law enforcement.
You know what I did over there? But then I left this side to leave the car. I literally took thick white tape and I wrote press on it. Thick black.
They don't
You know,
care.
they're-
They don't
they're looking
care
for those
that
kind of
people are here
credentials,
with
but
kids.
no,
They
no,
don't care
talk
that
fast.
grandmas are
Talk
here.
fast at them. Do
They're
that.
helping Ridgeland Farms, who is corrupt, doing a
It's
terrible
all
thing.
about money and politics.
You should be on the other
It's
side.
all about money and politics.
Protecting victims.
Whatever kind of
Dogs
stuff
and
they're doing
victims.
there,
You should be
there's the
protecting
research.
them.
I'm going to try and zoom in here, folks, and show you this particular sheriff's deputy here. He's holding cans of pepper spray and one in each hand, and then has another hung at his belt as well. And I've got to keep an eye here on my camera battery because I'm down to just minutes left on it. I scrambled out the door. I had been filming the last 2 days. I had been on the road covering hyperscale data centers here in the state of Wisconsin, some of those projects and build-outs. And so my gear has been used, and I had not had the chance yet to recharge everything.
That's a great song. Yeah, I don't know whose it is.
You'll see that many of the activists now have cleared out from being right up here at the line, the main entry to the facility. Most have backed off now at this point. I'm hearing. I'm listening in on some of the charge. You know, may not end up, and there may be more in the days to come, and I'll try to be here for all of it. So look to see is about anything else you would want to add while you had the chance, while you had the platform.
I just hope for whoever's watching this, please do something. It doesn't have to be about this. You don't have to take a felony. You don't have to be out and protesting. Just do something. Donate $5. Call your congressman. Call your whatever representative. If everybody does one little thing, we can make a huge difference. There's more of us than there are of them.
Thank you very much, Isabel. Yeah. I appreciate it. Let me steal that microphone back from you. I'll cut you loose. Thank you for being game to talk to me again.
I know. Nice to
in a completely different context. Yeah, good to see you.
2 hours away from the last time I ever met you. Okay. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, take care. All right, folks. So I'm actually going to jump on camera. So much. Never sprayed myself, could not see out here. It reminded me of being on the streets as we were for months in Minneapolis, and the scenes of violence that we saw play out there at the hands of the federal government, and then of course also down in Broadview, Illinois, in the Chicago area, where we were also witness to a lot of law enforcement violence for people trying to protest against ICE and DHS deportations. But this is what we do at Status Coup. We go on the ground, we get up close, we're not afraid to get tear gassed, pepper balled, pepper sprayed ourselves. Right? We go where other media won't, to tell the stories that they won't, to lift up as many voices as possible. And if you believe that that is an important mission, and you want to see me out here at more of actions here at Ridgeland Farms and more stuff like this, well, the only reason I'm able to be out here at the drop of a hat is because of the support of our members who make this work possible. So if you already are a Status Coup member, thank you so much. If you are not, please go to statuscoup.com/join. For as low as $5 a month, you go to sustain our on-the-ground reporting that we do in places like this. Any stories that we can cover about economic justice or any other sort of justice-focused movement in this country, that's what we like to do here at Status Coup. Cover the news that the corporate media covers up. And I'll note that there were a few local reporters that I recognize from local reporting days out here in this area that were out here with cameras. But despite having thousands of people from across the country, there's no national press out here, and even the local press that's going to have this on here later tonight, I am going to watch their coverage with great anticipation, because I want them to prove me wrong, because what I suspect that they are going to do is they are going to air maybe one soundbite from an activist paired with a statement from the company that disparages these activists and makes them out to be, you know, some kind of domestic terrorist or something to that effect, and then talk about how local law enforcement probably are going to use the phrasings that will make it sound like they were forced to deploy tear gas. I hope they prove me wrong, but we shall see. That said, I'm going to wrap things to a close here because a lot of the activists are actually trickling back towards the roadway getting out of here. I'm hearing that there's going to be follow-on days of action out here, so perhaps I'll be out here from the start on those follow-on days. But for now, on behalf of myself, our entire team here at Status Coup, thank you to all of our mods for being available to moderate our chat at the drop of a hat. I am so appreciative for the work that you do. On behalf of our entire team here at Status Coup, thank you so much for being with us. And stay safe and have a good weekend.